Okay, we're starting 7.1 ratio and proportions. One thing that you will notice, we've now got a new set of a lot of vocabulary: ratio, extended ratios, proportion, extremes, means, cross products. Make sure you understand what the new vocabulary is. We'll come across some of them as we're going through this exercise, but it's well worth checking out. Google it, see what you can find. Okay, so now we're looking at how to write and use ratios. As you can see, there's several different ways that you can write them. The ratio, like I normally do my times, where it's a double dot b, is it's about 50-50 with the fraction. Okay, a to b, that's more sort of like middle school, but a double dot b or a over b, the fraction part. And remember, if it's in fraction part, the b part, the denominator cannot be 0, and it has to be expressed in its simplest form. So you've got to simplify your fractions. Okay, most of you use calculators. Plug it into your calculator using the ABC button, and it will press the equal sign. It will do it all for you. Okay, so if you have a look at example 1, you can see now how it fits. This is batting averages of Joe Moore. The hits 181, number of times he was at bat 521, and as you can notice, they've got one of the parts of the fraction, which in this case is the denominator, as a part to 1. That's called the unit ratio. Okay, it could be 1 over something or something over 1, but quite often they'll try and get it down to 1. One part of it will be 1. Okay, so if you have a look at question number 1, you've got, it says out of a survey of 1,000 households, 460 have at least one dog or a cat as a pet. What is the ratio of pet owners to households? Here's your first problem. Which goes on the top, which goes on the bottom? Well, it's out of a survey of 1,000, so the 1,000 goes on the bottom. Okay, and so that leaves you with the 460 at the top. And again, you can simplify that, and you finish up with, and either you can write it as 23 over 50, or you can write it as 23 double dot 50. It's entirely up to you. Both answers are correct. Both answers will give you full marks. Okay, another one of your words that your vocabulary: extended ratio. Okay, as in most of the questions that you've had so far today, this year, your algebra comes into play, and if you have a look at the triangle, instead of 3, 4 and 5, you've got 3x, 4x and 5x. Okay, and that's the ratio. Well, here you know that all three of these angles must equal the 180 because it's the triangle sum theory. Solve for x. Then make sure you read what it says. It says find the measures of the angles. If you find x, you've not finished. It's that old saying that I keep saying and keep saying. Make sure you plug it back in again. Find x, plug it back into your 3x, 4x and 5x, and you will finish up with your answer. Okay, so here's the one again. The ratio of the measures of three sides of a triangle is 2, 5 and 4, and its perimeter is 165. Okay, you know that you've got to add them together because all the three sides added together must make 165, but make sure you read the question. Find the measure of each side. So first of all, put it into fraction form. 2 plus 5 plus 4 will give you 11 over 165. Okay, simplify your answer. Okay, simplify that, you get 1 over 15. So in other words, if you wanted to do it slightly different, you could have done 2x plus 5x plus 4x equals 165. You would have 11x equals 165, and so x would equal 15. Okay, so you get the same answer, look, but in a slightly different form. But again, plug it back in again. Well, 2 times 15 will give you 30. 5 times 15 will give you 75, and 4 times 15 will give you 60. Okay, so whichever way you want to do it, it's entirely up to you. Okay, 3 more of your vocabulary words here. Okay, Here's where we were doing proportion, cross multiplying. You know what it's like. You're going to make two different ratios, A over B in this case and C over D, and as you can see, the extremes are going to be your numerator of the left hand side and the denominator of your right hand side. Your mean is going to be the denominator of the left side and the mean of the right side. Okay, get used to it. It's not very often you hear the words extremes in proportions, but not at the moment, but you will do later on if you decide to take statistics. Okay, and then obviously cross products or cross multiplying will give you the final solution. Okay, so here's example 3. What can you do? Well, 6 over x equals 21 over 31.5. They will give you, or you will need to, from the diagram, pick things out, but you will get 3 out of the 4 parts. You cross multiply, you solve. Okay, that's as far as you need to go. In this case, you find an x. It's not a case of plugging it back in, but just in case, make sure you check. Okay, so here we are on question 5, example 3. So let's have a look at what you've got. Okay, we've got 2 over 3 equals x over 4. Okay, take them and cross multiply them. So you've got 3 times x. I'm going to put this in parentheses for you at the moment. And 2 times 24. Okay, well obviously we've got our 3x here, and all we're doing is distributing, so that's 48. We're going to divide through by 3, so x equals, and 48 divided by 3 will give you 16. Okay, and then obviously in example 4, real world, making predictions, how big is the school going to get, etc. Students owning cars, students driving to school. But again, if you look at what you've got, you've still got a proportion. And all it is exactly the same process again. 28 times 755, and that must equal 50 times x. Do your number crunching, use your calculator. 21,140 equals 50x. Divide through by 50, divide through by 50, 422.8. Well, obviously you can't have 422.8 people, you can't have a 0.8 of a person, so you always go to the next whole number. Okay, so here we are, same real life situation. Ella is baking apple muffins for the student council bake sale. The recipe that she is using calls for 2 eggs per dozen muffins, and she needs to make 108 muffins. How many eggs does she need? Well, here's the written format of 2 over 12. Okay, you need to know that a dozen equals 12, and she needs to make that, so 2 eggs will make 12 muffins. You don't know how many eggs, so eggs is going to be your x, but she does need to make 108 muffins. Okay, there's your format, there's your ratio and proportion. Keep it going, cross multiply. 12 times x will give you 12x. 2 times 108 will give you 216, and then it's a case of dividing through by 12, so x is going to equal 18. So to make 108 muffins, she needs 18 eggs.